Good evening, everyone. My name is Landa Jere Morgan. I'm here with my co-host,
Hello, I'm Rotunda
and
Morgan.
you're tuned in to another episode of Living
Living
More
more
with
with
the
the
Morgans.
Morgans.
And as you can see, you guys, it is the month of February, the month of love.
Yes.
It's all red and beautiful and sexy around here. And my co-host, she always got that sexy going. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, if you are
Yes.
tuned in to any one of our channels right now, make sure that you can hear us loud and clear. We
Yes,
want to make
please.
sure that everything is coming across clean and crisp with the audio, and everything is coming across with the visuals
Yes.
clean and crisp, you guys. Why? Because we want to do things in excellence.
We
We
have to.
always have to do things in excellence, you
Yes.
guys. And I do apologize because we are late. And we are late because we had some technical difficulties with the sound, you guys. And so,
Yes.
if you guys know anything man made is bound to go wrong at some point. And so, you guys, we do
Yes.
apologize. But you
We
know
do.
what? We pushed through, we got
Yes.
through.
Yes.
And if the sound is loud and clear on your end, that's what
Please
we
let us
wanted.
know.
Please let us know. And so, right
Yes.
now, you guys, we're on several different channels right now, and we're all over the internet. And right now you're probably tuned in of one of three places. Right now we're on Facebook, facebook.com/ Living More Morgans. We're live on Facebook, and that is the official page of Living More with the Morgans. So if you aren't on that page, if you haven't liked it, if you haven't connected with us on Facebook, please go to facebook.com/ Living More Morgans, and
Right.
be sure to hit that like button, and you can follow us and you can watch us on there. We're also
Yes.
live on YouTube. YouTube, let's get that subscribership up, you guys. It's looking good so far,
Yes.
but we want to get that joint up even higher. So right now, shout out to everybody who's watching us on YouTube. We can't
Yes.
see y'all from our devices, but if you're there,
Not yet.
not yet. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And so if you guys can see us on YouTube, you can hear us loud and clear.
Yes.
Let us know. Hit us up in the comments, and we'll make sure that everything is good to go on YouTube. And then lastly, we also on Twitter, twitter.com/ Live More Morgans. And so if Twitter is your thing, we are live on Twitter,
Yeah,
Periscope
we're there.
right now. Go ahead and hit that follow button on Twitter right now at
Yes.
twitter.com/ Live More Morgans. Now, we're not live on Instagram just yet. Instagram is coming, you guys.
Yes, it
So,
is.
because it is coming, and we're not official on Instagram just yet,
Mm-hmm.
be sure to go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Why? Because we got reels, we got exclusive content that you're only going to find on Instagram.
Right.
Instagram.com/ Living More Morgans. And so, you guys, we're all over social media right now. We're all over. And do us a favor.
Please share.
Come on now.
Please share.
Wow, this is dope content. This is
Right.
dope podcast. This
Yes.
is clean content. There ain't no cussing, ain't no fussing. We ain't getting into all
We don't
that.
do that.
All that foolishness. We got enough of that
Right.
stuff out there.
Yeah.
This is clean content. Why? Because we need something new. We need something different. We need something that's going to convict, that's going to challenge, and that's going to be fun. We're going to have fun on this podcast.
Right.
We always do. We're going to trip out. We're going to make you laugh. That's what we do. Why? Because it's Living More with the Morgans.
That's right.
And right now, for this next hour, you with the Morgans, you dig? And so go ahead and share on your wall. Get people to go ahead and tune in. And if you're with us online, be sure to hit us up in the comments.
Yes.
Go ahead and bring people in, share it on your
Yes.
wall. Let them know that Living More with the Morgans is on. And we got a dope show.
And this is an interactive show.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so please, you guys, get in the comments. Talk. We want to hear. We want to hear from you. We want
Absolutely.
feedback.
Absolutely.
Please.
Get in the comments, you
Yes.
guys. Let us know that you're there.
Let us know.
Ask questions throughout the
Ask
show.
questions.
Make statements. Give us some
Yes.
hearts. Give us some likes. We want to see
Yeah.
interaction with you guys.
Right.
And so right now, we're just going to go through the channels right now. We can see you guys on the Living More with the Morgans Facebook page. And right now, all the way, I think, who we got here? We got, okay, man. Our very own Spiritual Pops is in the building. Dr. Shananike is in the building. He said, I'm the first to arrive. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Apostle
Shout out to
Sean.
you, Papa.
And
Love you, Papa.
absolutely love you, sir. He said the virtual is perfect. Picture is
Yes.
perfect. Awesome. And then our very own spiritual mother, our mama, she is on. She is in the building. I know.
You
What
see
she
what
say?
you say?
No, what she say?
She
Son,
said-
you are. Oh, snap. Yeah, I'm. Mama, that ain't my fault. It ain't my fault.
Hey.
It ain't my fault. No, seriously, it was the audio.
Yes.
Man, I'm finna take this back. I'm about to kick this off the balcony, you guys, because this thing right here, I ain't trying to give it no bad press, man,
Right,
but this thing wasn't connecting for nothing. So, you guys, we do
But we
apologize, but we here, Mama. So thank you very much.
And she said she loved the roses and the red.
Oh,
Thank
awesome.
you, Mom.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
We put our everything in.
Absolutely,
this,
absolutely.
so.
And then we also got our very own spiritual son, Joshua Obonga, is in the building all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. All the way from Abuja.
Boy, what
You
you
supposed to be
doing
asleep.
up?
You supposed to be asleep, son. What are you doing?
But it's good you're here.
And I called you back as
you.
well. I called both of y'all back. So don't be mad that we didn't get a chance to talk, son.
Yes,
but thank you guys so much for tuning in. And after this
Yes.
broadcast, be sure to get you some sleep. All right. And so love you guys. Love to Dana as well, and the Patience and Julius and the whole crew, all the way out there in Abuja, Nigeria. Oh, that's our extended family out there in Nigeria.
They're my people.
That's our people out there. You know what I'm saying? So I even got a Nigerian name.
Yes.
What was it? Chidubem? Chidubem, something like that. Probably, am I saying that right? Chidubem, whatever.
Yeah.
I got a Nigerian name already.
Yes.
So I'm feeling I'm feeling real royal and African right now.
You do?
Real royal and African right now.
Okay, bro, let's go.
Yeah. So, and then we've got who else we got on? We got Shankidra is in the building. Shankidra, thanks for tuning in. Tamika Green is in the building. Tamika Long, excuse me. Our sister is in the building. Yes, she is also on YouTube. So thank you so much, sis, for tuning in.
Thank you.
And you guys. And I think I saw Rianne on here. Rianne she be peeping in, but she don't be saying nothing. Rianne, if you on here, you need to get in here and say something now. Don't be one of them that be peeking around the corner and don't be saying nothing.
Come on in.
I'll go ahead and come on in and speak
you
and say
Moni.
something. Take your shoes off and chill for an hour.
Right.
With the Morgans, you guys. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We got a dope show, and I think tonight we're gonna kick off the month of love, the month of February, with a show that, you know, I've been really just kind of really thinking about here recently. With the whole, a lot of people have just been wanting to get married, and we're seeing a lot of talks about marriage, and now is the time that people are starting to plan for the spring and the summer for marriages. A lot of people do proposals around this time for Valentine's Day that's coming up next Tuesday. And so you definitely want to tune in next Tuesday, you guys, because we've got some special guests that will be with us, joining us online. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys who it is. It is our very own spiritual parents, Dr. Sean Anike and Prophetess Beverly Anike will be live in the house on Living More with the Morgans. They will be zooming in. And so you guys, you want to tune in next week because we're going to have them online with us, and they finna spill all the tea, all the holy tea. The Holy Ghost tea. They're gonna be spilling all of it, you guys. And so tune in next week, you guys. Dr. Sean Anike, Prophetess Beverly Anike will be on live with us on Valentine's Day. We finna take it there. It's finna be what that
lovely.
It's finna be lovely, you guys. And so tonight's show, we want to kick it off. It's called "Where Is the Love?" Where is the love? Baby, where's the love? Where's the love?
I got love for you.
I got love for you too. You know.
Your sexy self.
Okay, all right then. You know, we can kill this right now. We can kill this show right now. We can go off air. I mean, what's up with it?
We'll do that later.
You got on the red and everything?
I do.
You looking thick and nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everything popping nicely over there. I mean, we can go off air right now. But because of y'all, we're going to keep it going, you guys. And so, where is the love? That's what we're asking tonight, you guys, is where is the love? Right. And right now, and that's a loaded question because
very much so.
There's so much that we can get into. And like I said, right now, people are definitely planning for what's next when it comes to life changes. And when I say about life changes, when you get married or when you bring someone in to your life like that, you finna propose on Valentine's Day, or you finna get that special someone and take it to the next level, your life is going to change, or you need to be prepared for your life changing.
Yes.
So that's one thing we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about, some of the things that we're seeing even in society where we're dating different now, right? So people are meeting each other on the internet. They're meeting each other in different places online. There's different online websites
Dating
and different things
sites,
and applications and apps and stuff that you can use on your phone where people are meeting each other. And it can be a little bit dangerous, but it's also new. And people have always been, hooking up, meeting in church and meeting in cafes or whatever, and bars and all that all those different things. But now we live in a world where you're meeting people online. And some people are getting what's called catfished. Where they get this portrayal of someone, and then when they meet them, it's not who they thought it would be.
Wow,
but
we've seen some.
But oh yeah, but even in that, it might not be the person that you thought.
Right.
But here's the thing: when you get married, you're dating the representative, right? And so when you get married, you better be ready for what's behind door number 1, number 2, and number 3.
All 3 doors.
All 3 doors. And so we want to talk about that tonight. It's like, where is the love with that? And like how our society today is portraying love.
Right.
And it's kind of scary in a way because
very much so.
We're grasping after that. Our society today is grasping after this superficial look of love. And it ain't all there. It ain't all what it's cracked up to be.
No.
And I think we need some more teaching. I think we need some more what's the word? Not just teaching, but we need more wisdom and knowledge.
We do.
Of what to expect when we look into marriage.
Right.
And I don't think that we're fully doing that.
Right.
Like we should be. What do you think about that?
I agree because again, everything is so. People are they're so afraid sometimes. Some people I saw, they're so afraid that I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm this age and I'm not married yet. And they put a time on it. God didn't put a time on it. They put a time on it that, I don't know if this is going to happen for me. So, for some women, it's like, okay, he got a pair of pants on. Okay, he look like a dude. He got a beard. Let me see what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm making fun of that in that area, but it's not funny because women they're going too fast. They're not stopping to think. They're not stopping to make sure that they're ready, making sure that you're not even supposed to be the one that go out and get a husband.
Right.
You know, we have women now that, we've saw that they getting on their knees proposing to a man.
It's a whole new world
what?
now, man.
This is not what God designed.
Well, and let's get into that because we as believers, we can easily say that, right? We can say, God didn't design it to be this way.
Right.
But we have to remember that we live in a world where all kinds of religions, all different kinds of belief systems are in place.
That's true.
And so sometimes what I think we do as believers, as Christians, is we try to really kind of force feed sometimes what our belief system are, what we know to be the truth.
Right.
Now, I've always said this: the truth is not universal.
No, it's not.
Now, let me say that again.
No, it's not.
For those who and hear me out when I say this, truth is not universal. Why do I say that? Because what I may consider to be the truth, someone of a different religion, a different culture, a different race group will not see my truth as truth.
That's true.
Right? And so we have to understand that even though us as Christians, we believe that, hey, a proposal from a man to a woman should be this way.
Right.
Or a marriage should look like this. You have to understand that everyone didn't grow up with our same belief system.
I agree with that. I totally agree. And on the flip side of that, anything that you do prematurely, anything that you do too fast, too quick, it never works.
Oh yeah.
Regardless if you believe in what I believe or how I believe or all these different religions, it's universal too.
Right.
That no matter what, if you go at anything or if you try something that's too quick, you do something too fast.
Right.
it's not you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. So I think that in this time, in this society, in the society we're in now, everything is being presented to be fast, go, go, and sometimes we don't stop and say, wait a minute, pump your brakes.
And even with it being presented as being fast and go and go and go,
Right.
it's not being presented with a moral code.
With
There's
moral
no
code.
There's no moral compass anymore.
No, there's not.
And I agree with you. I believe this is just me personally.
Right.
I feel that a man should always propose to a woman.
Right.
I
Right.
believe that a man should always be the one that pursues the woman.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
But that's my belief. That's
right.
my faith. Right.
Right.
And so, and I say that because even though it can come across as traditional to a lot of people or old school, I believe that is how we're wired. That's how God wired us.
Absolutely.
Is that as men, we pursue y'all as the women. We chase y'all.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And the women y'all can show us an interest, but it
Right.
comes across as desperation.
That's what I was going to say. It
You
come
dig?
across as as women being thirsty.
And I don't care
And you
what-
guys and women, men can see that.
Oh, we can. It's like blood in the water to a shark.
Absolutely.
Right. We can sniff desperation out from a mile away.
Absolutely.
And so, but now, like I said, it's becoming okay within our society.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with that. You don't necessarily
No.
agree with that. But there are people in our society today and in our culture, in our community, that are saying, "Hey, I'm ready to get married. I want a man. I need a man
By any means
By any
necessary."
means necessary."
Wow.
And
That's true.
when you do that,
Right.
you get ready for the consequences. Now, here's what I say about that, though. If we as Christians believe that a man should be the one that pursues the woman, the one that proposes to the woman, and so forth,
Right.
those are all great things and good things to believe.
Right.
Right. And those are good foundational things to believe. I think.
Right.
But we got to go. We got to be bigger than that, because what's happening is they're not seeing our example of longevity. They're not the people who believe opposite of what we believe are seeing the antithesis of what it is that we preach or that we say.
Right.
Right. And so
Absolutely
if they're
right.
not seeing our marriages work, if they're not seeing our communication be blissful,
Right.
if they're not seeing us be intimate and different things with one another, then they're saying, well, hey, they're not showing me what the real is. They're not showing me,
Right.
quote unquote, how it should be. Then guess what? I'm going to go off of here and do my own thing.
And that's good. And also, we as Christians and faith-based people, we're so afraid to be intimate in public. We're so afraid. We've talked about it. We're so afraid to show
That's church
affection.
folk.
Let me say this.
Church folk.
You guys, I understand if you're dating and you're in the world and you're doing all that. Okay, I can understand a little bit of that.
Right.
But this is your husband or your wife. Why are you
Right.
afraid to show affection? It's just like Papa and Mama when when Papa's in the pulpit and on the podium, and Mom goes up and it's time for her to come up and she kisses him and stuff. I know people that have been like, ugh, cringing. Why? Why is that? My husband, he's sometimes in the media department at church. He'll come around and pinch me on the booty.
Right.
That's my husband.
Right. Right.
I mean, and then you guys, you're right. If you don't show that, how is the world going to know what love is and how it should be shown if we don't do that?
Right.
If we're not the ones that stand out and do that.
But see what happens, and I don't mean to cut you off, babe,
No,
but what
that's good.
happens is the secular world shows that. They show that.
They show that.
Right?
Right.
And when you looked at, if you look at the closeness of, I'm just using them as an example, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right.
Or you look at, when Kanye was with Kim or whatever.
Right.
You see their intimacy. You see them playing with one another. You see their jovialness and their blissfulness
Right.
with one another. But when it comes to us as people of faith, we all tight and stiff and, and we do these like typical, first lady and pastor poses. And And it's like, where is our flavor?
Right.
Where is our oomph?
Don't lose your
Don't
flavor,
lose your flavor.
because you're saved.
Right.
You don't lose. God didn't want us to lose that. All he wanted us to do is what? Come to him.
Right.
Have a relationship with
Right.
him. We're so busy trying to be, what word I want to use? Politically correct.
Yeah, there's a lot of legalism.
Legalism.
It's like as soon as if people of faith, and I don't know if it's like this in the Muslim community, and if we've got some Muslim people that are on, some people of that faith, please chime in. I want to be knowledgeable of if it's like that in that religion and that culture as well,
Right.
because I know with us sometimes as Christians, it's like we're so
stiff.
stiff, and we're so afraid of what other people are going to say. We're so mindful, overly mindful of, well, we don't want to put out too much, or we don't want to be too this, or we don't want to be too that. And then it jeopardizes our relationships. It jeopardizes what we got going on. And so how can we be an example? How can we be an example to them when we say, oh, well, you should do this, and the man should do this, and the woman should do this, but they don't see us doing and being with one another? I don't want to. And here's the thing, and this is no slight to anyone who has these kinds of relationships, but when you stiff and you're stoic and you're not approachable and you're not fun and you don't smile and you don't laugh and you don't trip out, I'm not interested in your God.
That's the world.
I'm not interested in anything you got to say about God or Jesus. I don't care. Because you make him so dead and so dry. And our God he is a living God.
Living.
If you don't have a relationship with God, you won't know that he has the coldest person. God's humor is through the roof.
Right.
Mm-hmm. God is a comedian.
Right.
Absolutely. But if you don't have that kind of relationship with him, you won't know him to be that. You'll know him to be strict, legal. You got to do this, and if you don't do this, I'm mad at you. And that shouldn't be representative in our marriages and in our relationships.
It should not be. And we've seen this, and Tamika is saying the same thing I was thinking. We've seen this in our older generation. You know, we don't want to continue that in the generation now and for our children, and they get married and continue to go forward because, again, you know, I bring up my situation. I'll say this, you know, I love my parents. There's nothing against them. Mm-hmm. But when my mom and dad, as we grew up, we didn't see them be in the same bed together. Mm-hmm. And I knew, and now that I'm older, I know that there were some issues and some problems. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can say dad snored, but it wasn't just that. Mm-hmm. There was some hurt feelings. See, mm-hmm. I know what I'm talking about. I've seen it. Some bitterness mm-hmm. and some things and some unresolved issues that they weren't resolving. Mm-hmm. And so when I first got married and I brought my husband home, I told him, I said, you have to go in the guest bedroom. You can't be in here with me. And my mother ended up seeing him go in that room. And she said, where is he going? I said, well, he's going to sleep in there. She said, well, you sleeping in there? I said, no, I'm sleeping in here. She said, why? Mm. I said, because Mama, this is what you and Dad did. Mm. Mm-hmm. My mother opened her mouth. Her mouth fell open. And she was like, literally on her face, it was like, oh my goodness, what did we do? Mm-hmm. And she said, no, that's not right, bro.
And so
she said, go in there
parents,
with your husband. Yes.
You're setting the example for your kids on what love looks like.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're asking the question, well, where's the love?
Right.
Because if you're not showing it to your kids, if you're not showing it to the world and to people, guess what? They're going to find other places where they can see it. And there's tons more places where they can see negative examples of what they think love looks like.
Yes.
Rather than you exhibiting it the right way.
Absolutely.
Between you and your spouse.
Yes. And let me say something because, again, I've been married before. And let me say this to the married couples, okay? When you have issues in your marriage and they're unresolved, you wear it. Mm. Okay? Mm-hmm. You wear it in your body language. You wear it on your face. You wear it in the way you interact with one another.
Yes.
Okay, I know that to be true. How we've had it.
Yeah.
We've done that. So we have to, like you said, we have to be careful of what we are showing the world and other people in the faith-based community and in our, in our communities.
Right.
Are we showing them how to resolve? Because husband and wife, there's always going to be, issues. We're going to always have issues. But you guys, if you continue to let those issues stay in your marriage, your marriage will not flourish and flow with bliss and joy and peace and happiness.
Right.
It will always be underlying issues that are not resolved. Where is the love? Is it more important that you hold on to the anger, the frustration, or the bitterness, or talking to each other crazy? Well, you said this and I'm not happy with you, and you did this and I'm not happy with you, so I'm going to continue to hold on to that? Or are you going to say, wait a minute, time is out for that. Let us get back from this step. Let's step back and let's be adults here. And let's work on this thing that we need to work on, whether it be something that the husband did or the wife did. Literally, you guys are supposed to be one. So are you going to continue with that? Especially you guys who have children, grown children or small children.
Right.
They are looking at you.
Right.
How do you know? Look at you. You were a child. You had parents.
Right. And you're absorbing. And observing.
And
all of
observing.
that
Right.
that your parents are doing.
Right.
Wow, that's powerful. I wanted to read what Tamika said on her. She said, Russell and I have seen with this generation that it is common for the young men to have two women and live together in relationships. This is becoming a common belief among the younger generation between the ages of 20 to 32. Wow. Exactly. And that's, again, there are different belief systems. And that's what I want us as believers to really understand, okay? Is that for us to impose our belief system on other people and just think that, oh, they should know this or that they should live like this. We know that the carnal man does not understand the things of the spirit.
No.
That's scripture.
That's scripture.
And so you can't expect them, you guys.
Right.
That's why you have to be the one that loves them into understanding.
Right.
That's why it says love is patient.
And it's kind.
And it's kind.
Yes.
Love has to be patient because who you're going to be dealing with or who you're going to be teaching or who you're going to be conveying new information to, you're going to have to be patient with them because their belief system may not be the belief system that you grew up in or the belief system that you understand.
That's good.
And we have to be patient with people.
Right.
You have to be patient with the unbeliever. You have to be patient with the brother who got the two women.
Right.
You know it's wrong. You know it's not cool. You know scripturally it's not cool.
Right.
You know that God frowns on it, but you're still his representative and his ambassador.
Right.
So if you go in there with an iron rod and ready to chastise and beat upside the head and throw Bible at him, then guess what? They say, you know what? I don't want what you're talking about. I'm going to stay with these two women and play house and have sex and do this and this and this and this. They're not going to see the love that you conveying to them as to why this certain lifestyle or this certain way of doing things may be wrong.
You said something earlier. You guys, we that are married, we have to be consistent in our relationship.
Exactly.
So that they can see that. We have to be true and real in our own relationships. Because again, you think you're not wearing what's going on in your house and in your life and within yourself. You are wearing it.
It's on you.
It's on you. It don't take a prophetic. It doesn't take a prophetic eye to see that. You're wearing it. So the responsibility, just like you said, the responsibility is us. We are responsible. With these, like Tamika was saying, these young people with two relationships. They think that is okay. Well, where's the example that we're saying here in the church? We got to be the example. We got to stop being stiff. We got to stop being afraid. Because we're afraid of intimacy. You guys think intimacy is just sex.
No.
Intimacy is not just sex. Intimacy means intimacy into me. See into me. Get to know your spouse. Get to know the person you're married to. Take the blinders off and take the walls away. Let down your hair and stop being so afraid for your spouse to know who you really are and what is going on within you.
And
until we do that, we can't tell the world nothing about marriage.
No. And that's why they don't listen to us.
Right.
And see, again, we try to come with this corrective iron rod. Well, you need to do this and God's going to do this.
Right.
I always said this, and hear me out when I say this, you guys.
Right.
You can't scare people into loving God.
You cannot.
The older generation, the older saints did that.
Yeah.
If you don't do this and this and this and this, you
generation.
go into hell. If you don't do this and this and this, fire and brimstone is going to be it. You can't. God does not want people to be scared into loving him. Would you want your spouse would you want them to scare you into loving them? No, you wouldn't. You want the love to be reciprocal.
Right.
That's why we're saying, well, where's the love?
Right.
And so not only are we talking about marriage and relationships, but also in dealing with other people and their concepts of what love is, what their ideals and what they've grown up seeing.
Right.
We may not be in agreement with you guys. And so because we may not be in agreement with it, we can't go around condemning and chastising and being legalistic.
Right.
God has not called us to be that.
Right.
He has not called us to do that.
That's right.
He has called us to love. And to have an understanding.
Right.
I think about the Apostle Paul. That brother wrote some patient letters because these cats was having orgies and they was taking stuff out from what the Romans were doing and all this different stuff. I mean,
they were taking pages out of a book.
Yeah, I mean, they were bringing in paganism, all kind of stuff into the church.
Yeah.
And Paul, I'm sure he was pissed. I'm sure he was like, "Yo, what is this?" Right. But them letters had to be patient. Now they were strict.
They were sharp.
They were sharp.
Yeah.
But even in that, if you're writing a letter, you got to understand that somebody's got to convey your tone of voice when they read it to whom you want it to be read to.
That's right. And I just wanted to say something. I wanted to piggyback on what we said in the first half. How, the world they show, the love quicker than we do.
Right.
And I remember when we were dating. Okay. See, everybody that went into marriage didn't go into marriage. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna mess around with him. I'm not gonna get with him. Everybody didn't do that. They can tell you that, but they ain't telling you the truth. Okay. There's some people that did. Okay, but we didn't. Okay, we didn't. And we had to learn that. Right. In our when we getting ready to do our premarital, we had to learn that wasn't right and healthy. But what I was going to say is, to add to that, is that we showed affection outwardly.
Yes.
We were dating and we showed affection. We holding hands, we're kissing, okay? We're doing all of that. Why should that stop when we get married?
Right.
Why does that stop when we get married? We were out in the world doing it. And saying, look, I'm with my man. I'm with my woman. Then my woman fine.
Right.
We were out in the world doing it, but now we're so afraid to do it as if it's taboo. It's not taboo. No. This is the right way to do it. This is what God wants us to do.
And even more so now that we're in covenant, we should be doing
in covenant.
Now I'm in covenant with you.
Right.
Now you belong to me. I belong to you.
Right.
And so for whatever reason, again, we've got it twisted in thinking, oh, well, we need to hold back and we can't show that intimacy and we can't show that togetherness and blah, 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 blah. And we got to be stiff and we got to be robotic and I'm saved and I'm filled with the Holy Ghost and I'm a Christian and I can't show this and I can't do this and we can't smile at each other and we can't look in each other's eyes no more. No, we can't do that. Bump that.
Well, then you under a contract. Then y'all under a contract.
You under something because and I'm gonna take it there because I'm glad that you did. And Melissa said something. She said, "No, we have to love them where they are until they get to where God needs them to be."
That's right.
Again, it's where God needs them to be.
Where God needs
you can only plant a seed.
Right.
God is going to water. He's going to nurture. He's going to do that. That's not our responsibility.
Right.
So we have to be patient with love and say, you know what? Okay. That may not, okay, for example, let's take my man, Nick Cannon. Okay. Nick Cannon got baby mamas everywhere, right?
Brother
Nick Cannon but see, and somebody's in his ear, or a lot of people are in his ear saying, "Oh, that's okay for him to do that." Because if if it hadn't convicted him yet not to, then he wouldn't still be doing it.
True.
Let me
Go
finish.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Here's the thing with that. Because Nick's belief system, that is the antithesis of ours as believers, we have to be patient enough with that brother, because God was patient enough with us when we was doing our thing.
Yes, he was.
You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now let's keep it real here.
Right.
And we're gonna do that on Living More with the Morgans. Before we got married, hey, my wife is bad. My wife is fine. So I was dipping all in that Kool-Aid. Now, all you church folk who don't know about that, and you too saved and you Holy Ghost filled and you didn't do that, round of applause for you. Landa wasn't there. Rotunda wasn't there. So when we was dating, I'm getting it in. You dig? I'm kicking the tires on all 4 tires on the car.
Kicking the tires.
You dig? Why? Because that's what I knew. I didn't know better.
Yeah.
Once we got an opportunity to know better, we went through premarital counseling, counseling. We did all these different things to right the ship the right way.
Right.
Then we saw the error of our ways.
That's
but
right.
had someone been so legalistic and ugly and condescending towards us, we'd have been like, bump you. We finna keep doing what we gonna do.
Right.
But somebody had to be loving towards us.
But we
and
couldn't.
Patient with us.
But we couldn't, because we know there's a calling on our lives. We knew.
Right.
Okay. So
and we were convicted. We were convicted.
So we knew that, we got to get off this ship, because this is right here. This is not going to fly with God. And he was showing us.
Right.
He was showing us, because we know that much given, much required. We know there is much required there's much on our lives that we could not do that.
Right.
So like you said, we did do that. But at the same, now that we wrote the wrongs and we're on the right path, and we done what we really wanted to do, which was be married, be husband and wife, and God put us together for purpose. While we were doing what we were doing, God had purpose for us.
Right.
Because I can say this, I'll go there. We're 13 years in difference in age.
Right.
13. My husband's 13 years younger than me. Okay. So when I was in high school, you were in elementary?
I probably wasn't born yet.
You weren't born yet?
I probably in diapers.
He was somewhere in there. Okay. Right. See? And let me tell women something. I've been asked this. We talking about love. Will it work with someone that has an age difference? Okay. Oh, yeah. It depends on the maturity of that person.
Absolutely.
If they're not mature, and you will see it, if they're not mature in areas that they need to be, if they're more of a liability than they are an asset, even in the dating, then okay. My husband and I, how we met was not conventional. I didn't know him from Adam. He didn't know me. No. We come from totally 2 different backgrounds and worlds.
And the thing is, I didn't go looking for her.
And he did not.
And she didn't come looking for me.
I wasn't looking for nobody.
So God had to put it. She was coming out of a marriage.
Yes.
She was divorced, coming out of marriage, single mother. I'm young. I'm in my 20s. I'm doing my thing. Straight up.
I'm a divorcee. Yeah.
She's divorced
with a child.
I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm doing my thing, right? And so God had to have brought this thing together.
He had to.
1, because of course the age difference, but 2, God knew what I needed, and he knew what she needed.
Me, yes.
Has there been difficulties? Absolutely. Yes. Has there been things that we've had to iron out along the way?
Yes.
Absolutely. Are there things that we're still ironing out almost 9 years in?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But what am I saying? I'm saying that she wasn't so desperate for a man.
No.
That she was, let me be. And see, and let's, and she likes to tell the story. At that time, when I was younger, and I was a musician and stuff, and I was playing and everything.
You are a musician.
And I am a musician. I did my thing. I don't say I wasn't a male hoe. I don't say I was a gigolo or anything like that.
No.
But I was promiscuous. You dig? I did have other girls and different things like that I would be in relationships with, and that I would be promiscuous with. And so I wasn't going out there and just putting it down with just any old body. No.
Right.
But at the same time, when I met her, I knew my life had to change and shift. One, because she was older, and I was mature, but there were some things that I still had to grow up in, and even now I still have to grow up in. And so that's where the puzzle pieces fit.
Right.
But if you're so desperate where you're trying to fit this puzzle piece with this one, and you're jamming this piece with this piece, you're going to look up, and when you take a perspective look at the puzzle,
right,
you'll see that it's not quite right because those pieces don't fit here.
Right.
But you forced them to fit here.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing right now in our society is a lot of people, particularly young women, who are showing signs of desperation where they just want a man.
Right.
They just, I just want to be married. And even in our faith-based world, the prophet said I was going to be married and I'm going to be married by the end of the year. Okay, you don't necessarily just want to be married.
Ooh,
you want to have a lifetime marriage.
Yeah.
You can get married. There's a lot of people who get married in Las Vegas.
Right.
And they divorce within a week.
That's right.
So you don't want to just, I want to be married. No, you want a lifetime marriage with someone.
You want someone who is ready for that.
You want someone who's ready.
That you can build a life with. Someone who you can, what's the word I want to use? Not only build a life, someone that is there for you,
right.
and they love, if you have faith, that love God and all of this. I just want to say this: when you were talking about, and again on this show, we're honest because if we are not, we can't help anybody else. Okay, when you were talking about being promiscuous, I wasn't. Right. I didn't grow up. I could have been. My dad and my parents was extremely strict. Extremely. I've told you this story. They were extremely strict. And when I moved here and everything, I could have been. I didn't have the desire to be. Right. I had solid parents and I had enough love for myself to know that I wasn't going out there to be with every man and everybody that said this and that. I used to work at this company, this software company for years. And the guys that used to like me at the company, one guy, he tried his hardest. Now, let me say this to you guys. This man was married. At the time, I was separated. And this man was like, he thought I was single. So he was like, come on, let me take you out. Let me do this. I'm looking at the hand. I'm like, you married, right? He said, well, right now it's complicated. I don't care how complicated it is. Right. You go over there with your wife and y'all talk about the complications of your marriage. Right. But don't come over here with that because there's nothing over here going to happen. Right. Okay? The dude tried so much until he named me. At the time, my last name was Ford. He named me Rotunda No Ford. Because he was like, this girl is about the word no. No, I'm not going to waste my time with you. No, I have integrity. No, I love myself. No, I respect your marriage, even if you don't respect your marriage. And I respect your wife, even if I don't see your wife.
And real men, ladies, let's again, this is the platform Living More with the Morgan.
Right.
You ain't on the Holy Ghost hour with,
right.
And we're gonna quote scripture.
And get out of my DMs too.
Right.
Because you guys who get in my DMs trying to say, hey babe, what's up, sugar? What's going on? Guess what I do? I'm gonna show it to him. Because guess why? My name is Mrs. Rotunda Morgan. Okay? I respect my marriage. And you ladies, let me say this, if you're married or not, don't let a man disrespect you and get in your DMs in your ear because it's some cold, rainy nights and you lonely and you by yourself. Okay? Right. You know what? I'm saying put the girdle on. Put the girdle on, strap up, go and pray, whatever you got to do. Go and eat your bowl of Cheerios. Right. But stop being desperate and letting these men see that you're desperate because let me tell you again, they are.
And let me say this, babe. Let me say this. ladies, desperation it's not attractive.
It's not.
And we as men know that from a mile away. When we can sense desperation, when we can sense that we can pull a fast one on you, when we can sense that you'll lower your guard
Right.
for anything that I'll do or
Right.
give to you or say to you,
Right.
and you're that gullible, when I can get sex out of you easily, I
Right.
can get money out of
Money.
you easily. I can manipulate you so quick and so easily because I know that you want to be with someone just for the sake of being with someone, or that you want to be with someone just for the sake of not being lonely anymore. See, that box is hot. Let's just
Strap
tell it
up.
like it is. That box is hot.
Right.
And right now you can sit there and say, oh, well, God said this and da 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 da. No. Desperation ain't God.
Right.
You jumping,
Go ahead.
hold on.
Go ahead.
You jumping the gun and jumping out there and putting yourself out there on whatever platforms you're putting yourself on and trying to make yourself and this and this and that. Men can sniff that out from a mile away, and you're going
Right.
to come up with the wrong ones.
You will.
You're going to come up with fleas.
Right. Yeah.
If you keep putting out stuff that dogs like, you're going to come up with ticks and fleas.
That's right.
And so you guys got to remember, ladies especially, you got to remember that when you're looking for love, you're going to have to use that component of patience.
Right.
Because if not, and again, I know that we're in a society that says, oh, girl, you can take charge. It's a new day, women's lib. You can, forget the old traditions and da-da-da-da. But when you do that, again, there is still an order. If I pick up this remote control and I drop it, there is still the law of gravity that this bad boy is going to hit the ground.
That's right.
So there is still a law, whether you want to believe that or not, whether your belief system or your faith system believes that or not,
Right.
there is still a law that is in place. That's what Dr. Sean was saying, our Papa was saying earlier.
Yes.
That a man should be the one to pursue the woman.
Yes.
A man should be the one to propose.
Yes.
Woman came out of a man.
Right.
We know the order. Man came first, then the woman.
That's
Help
right.
me, the woman.
That's
so
right.
there is a law. There is an order.
That's right.
And when you break the law, guess what? You pay the consequences
You
for
do.
breaking that law. So when you're desperate and you're trying to force this puzzle piece into another piece that don't fit, guess what? Even though you'll be satisfied that, whew, I got the puzzle to be put together. When you take a look back at that puzzle, you'll see that them forced pieces ain't got this bad boy looking the way you really think it should look.
Right.
Especially on the outside to those who know better.
That's
we
right.
know some people personally that jumped into some relationships with some dudes. And
And
they
some
went
women.
with some women. They jumped up and they went out here and they did XYZ. And then we tried to tell them, hey, y'all, that ain't what to do. And they thought we was hating, or they thought we was old fogies, or y'all being traditional, y'all doing this and this. And they didn't heed wise counsel. And then we look up a year, 2 years later, whatever. Oh, well, no, God moved me away from that. Don't tell me God moved you away from something, y'all. You got yourself into something that you should not have gotten yourself in.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about where is the love? Because if we're so desperate looking for love, and then we'll look for it in all the wrong places, that's not God's will for us,
No,
man.
it's not.
That's not God's will for us to have broken hearts and be bitter and then have our kids being subjected to that.
Right.
When our kids are subjected to, hey, mama's angry. Or when our kids are subjected to, mama went through it with this man, or my daddy went through it with this woman.
Right.
Do you think your kids want that? Is that a healthy environment for
Right.
the kids?
It's
Absolutely
very tough
not.
for them. Right.
It's tough for the kids. So be mindful of who you're bringing around.
Right.
Be mindful of how you're dating, who you're dating. Be mindful, like my wife said, of the maturity. She had a daughter.
That's what I was going to say.
Right? She had a daughter. I was a young kid. I was in my 20s.
Right.
She had a daughter. I had to see if I was ready for that.
That's right. And when he said he had to see, I had to see.
Right.
Because I wasn't going to, when I met my husband, I was already 6 years not with my ex-husband. We were not together. I wasn't out there in the streets moving and shaking and trying to find anyone.
Right.
I was busy trying to raise my child who had went through a divorce, seeing her mom and her dad go through a divorce
Right.
and separation that bothered and hurt her. My responsibility and what I wanted to do was to make sure I love on her and I get her through that time, because it wasn't easy for her. Neither was it for me. So I had to make sure that the next man, whenever that time came, again, I wasn't pounding the streets looking for him. I had to make sure that he was ready, that he was going to be somebody that not only loved me, but loved her too. Because this was a package deal. Regardless of what the situation, how it is, you either want the package or you don't want the package. That's what it's going to be. And I just want to say this real quick, babe. That's the way it was going to be. We as women that came from marriages or single parents that just had children out, that, you know, single, you guys don't bring a whole bunch of men and women around your children. If you're not serious and you don't know if this is going to be serious, wait. Because when they start seeing all these people, then they become confused. Them ain't your uncles a baby.
Right.
And all of that, that's ridiculous. And that makes kids confused. And then we want these kids to do all these great things, and we're confusing them by the lifestyle that we chose. And when you said that, you were right. And I'm just going to make that last point. I wanted to make sure he was ready. Again, we were 13 years apart in age. At the time, we didn't get married then. We didn't get married till 10 years later. Again, I was already in my 30s going into my 40s. I needed to wait till he matured in areas and get to a certain age and stage in his life before we could even think about that.
And let me say this, though, as well, on top of that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying this.
I appreciate you.
What made me attracted to her even more was the fact that she didn't lower her standards for me. And she wasn't going to. And so, again, ladies, I'm coming with the real. Y'all, you know, I'm coming with the real from our perspective as men. When we sense that desperation,
as men,
when
listen.
I gotta be real on here. This is our platform. I gotta be real. This is the Morgans. When you come off the draws early,
period.
You done came off them panties early,
right?
We can sniff that desperation. We got what we wanted. We know we can get the milk,
right,
anytime we want to from this cow at the house,
right.
You dig? And we know that you have lowered your standards. You have lowered your you know, you've lowered yourself to accommodate me, then guess what? I'm going to take advantage of that. Any weak man is going to take advantage of what he sees a weak woman doing and ready to give up. For me, that was attractive to me. That made me pursue the chase even more. And not that I was chasing after her, but this made me see that, how the secular say, man, that's wifey right there. Wifey wasn't like, oh man, she wifey because she bang, boom, pow, she got it going on and she thick and did it all in the right places. Yeah, that helps. That's cool. But we gonna get older. Right. I don't know if she gonna have bang, boom, pow at 90.
Right.
Now she might, because she works out and she keeps it, she keep it tight right. But if that fades off, if that wears down, if that becomes disabled or whatever, guess what? There's got to be something else there, other things there that keeps that love intact.
Right.
And so that's what attracted me to her, that she wasn't lowering her standards. No. She wasn't just bringing me around at any old time with her daughter. And I knew at my age and like she said, at my maturity, I knew that this little girl is looking at me who also has her father in her life. And I knew that I didn't want to be the person that just moved her father to the side. I knew I didn't want to be that. I wasn't going to be that. And I didn't do that. I wanted her to maintain a relationship with her father. I wanted her to keep that closeness. Yes. So there were some challenges and some things that we had to overcome through the process.
Yes.
Why do I say that, ladies? Because when you bring a man into your life like that, and you do have kids, particularly your sons, and I'm gonna get to the daughters here in a minute. Yeah. But your sons are already protective of you as mama. They're already protective.
Yes.
So when they see you lowering your guard,
Yes.
and they can sense that this man is not adequate and equipped for his mother, you're going to make an enemy out of your son.
Yeah. We personally have saw that.
Hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to end up butting heads with your son.
Right.
Because he wants to protect you, but your box is hot.
Right.
So you bringing in Demarie, and you bringing in Ojabo, and you bringing in
It's
Otravius, and you bringing in all these dudes,
right.
and you bringing in Deacon such and such and Pastor such and such. You bringing them in your life, and your sons are sitting back saying, "Yo, I'm confused. What is this?"
Right.
And they already need a father figure.
Yeah.
They already need someone who's going to be consistent. But here's the thing. If they see mama's not consistent,
right,
then guess what? My anger is going to be towards my mama.
That's
because
right.
she don't even want consistency for herself,
Right.
and she don't want it for me. She's not even looking out for me with
Right.
the men that she's
That's
bringing
it.
into our lives.
That's it.
So that's why I'm asking the
That's
question,
it.
you guys.
That's it.
Where is the love?
Right. Right.
Same thing with the ladies and the brothers. Brothers, you're out here and you want to date a nice looking girl, whatever, blah 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 blah, and you got kids. Your daughters are observing and absorbing what it is that you bring when you bring these women around.
Right.
And if the woman is flippant and bringing attitude and seeing in laziness and all these different things where she's not seeing her when that daughter is not seeing companionship that she wants her daddy to have from this woman, you're going to create an enemy. And so, bros, you need to be mindful of who you're bringing around your children. You need to be mindful of who you're bringing into your life. And so I can remember, babe, at 16 years old, I wanted to be married at 16.
He talks about this.
I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I tell people, man, I wanted to be married at 16.
Yeah.
But guess what? I didn't understand marriage. So just because I wanted something doesn't mean I understood it. Yeah, I wanted a Lamborghini when I was 10, but I didn't learn how to drive a car until I was 14, 15.
Right.
So just because I want something doesn't mean that I'm supposed to have it right then and there.
And you're ready
I need
for
to
it.
be prepared for it, and I need to be
Right.
ready for the responsibility that's going to come with the thing that I want.
Right.
So I'm telling you guys the same thing. It's a lot of y'all that want marriage, and it's a lot of us that want companionship. There's a lot of us that don't want to be alone anymore. Get it, got it. But don't make the mistake of rushing into something just because you're asking yourself the question, where is the love?
Right. Right. And something else I wanted to add. We have to love ourselves first. Okay? If you don't love yourself, you're going to get someone who sees that you don't love yourself and they don't love themselves.
Right.
And when you bring that together, you have two people that are hurting, that are hurt, and who don't know themselves, who might have come from bad, family backgrounds, situations, issues, things that has happened to them in their childhood,
Right.
and so forth and so on. And if you don't know who you are, the time while you're single is the time to spend time with you, to get to know you,
Right.
to get to know what you like, to be honest with yourself, and to see yourself, and to learn who you are. While you're doing that and you're preparing yourself in that area, what God is preparing for you and that man, he's doing the same thing. You want a man, okay? If none of you women have read Michelle Obama's book, I implore you to do that. This book is extremely excellent. You know why? No pun intended to men, but my husband said something. When we step outside of allowing our husbands to be men or allowing our men to be men, opening the doors for them, being respectful to them, and all of these things, when we don't make them be the men they should be. They know, look, you have to show them this is what you should be doing.
Right.
You have to show men how to be a man, how to be a gentleman, and sometimes in some areas where sometimes the parent or the mother or the father didn't show them. You have to make a man respect you. And she said this about the president of the United States, the former president, President Obama. She said, I did not coddle him. I did not baby him. She said, I was there for him, of course. And I listened and I cared, but I did not keep him from being a man. When something happened, I didn't go in there and say, oh, baby, it's gonna be okay. No, she was like, you can do this. You have the credentials. You have everything you need. Get up, strap up, put your pants on, get out there. I'm right here behind you, but you go because you can do it. Right. When we don't allow men or make men be men, they're gonna be a baby for you. You don't want another baby.
No baby, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't want a baby because if you do, you'll get one. They will sit up on that couch. That trash can pile up in that corner. They be looking at you, babe. What's going on with the trash, bro? You need to get up and you put your pants on and you need to get out there and do it. Right. Because I say this, my husband laughed at me, but I didn't need him. Right. I wanted him in my life. I wanted someone to enjoy my life with, to share my life with, to do purpose with. I wanted him. I didn't need him because I can take my own trash out. I can open my own doors. Baby, I can make the money. When he met me, I was making money. When he met me, I have a degree. I can take care of Rotunda. I didn't need you. I wanted you. You brought value and you brought value to my life, and vice versa. So what I wanted to say again, women, don't push it to the point where you want a man or want a man, you want a woman so bad that you're not willing to say, let me work on me. Right. Let me make sure I'm ready so I can be the best man or the best woman, best husband, best wife I can be.
Because when you talk about marriage, it is a life.
It's a life commitment.
It is a covenant.
Yes, it is.
And we, again, in our society, we're very loose with that.
Very, very loose.
Where someone can jump up and head to Las Vegas.
Right.
With someone that they met at a club or at a party or whatever, halfway drunk, and say, oh, let's go get married, run to a chapel, exchange vows, put their names on a piece of paper, half drunk, and then, oh, we're married in the hotel room the next day. We live in that society.
Right.
And we live in a society that just kind of says, okay, this is marriage, and there's no real definition of marriage anymore.
Right.
And so everybody's got their definition of marriage. Everybody has their definition of what courtship should be and what marriage should look like.
Right.
But with that, you guys, those who do know better, then do better.
Do better.
When you do know better and you've got people around you, you've got an ecosystem around you that is giving you sound advice, sound doctrine, so that you don't make the mistakes and you don't make stupid decisions on who you're going to be married to or who you're going to tie that knot to, not to who you're going to tie that knot with, excuse me. Take heed to what people are saying.
Right. If you have that support group,
if you have that support group, utilize them.
Yes.
Lean on them.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
Because what we don't want is to see you hurt.
Yeah.
People don't want to see you going through unnecessary stuff that you don't have to go through. Then if you got kids, then your children are going through some things. We personally, my wife and I know some folks that didn't make it.
Yeah.
They didn't make it in their marriage. They didn't make it. Why? Because they didn't take heed to some of the advice that was given to them.
Right.
And now they're still trying to find a way and figure out a way. Well, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this marriage? No.
Right.
Let's listen to the wise counsel that's out there and make sound decisions and not rush into things just because it's something to do. Not rushing to things just because, oh, I'm lonely and I need somebody right now. And I want somebody in my life. Oh, I'm trying to fulfill the prophecy of what the man of God told me I was going to be married by December 31st of this year. No. Right. Do you think God wants you to get married and then desire a divorce come January of the next year?
No.
Is that his heart? No.
Right.
So we've got to use some wisdom in some things when we're out here looking for love, when we're asking the question, where is the love?
Right.
And we're going to have to get back to basics. We're going to have to get back to the foundational things of what is love?
Right. Right.
What is love really? My wife said it earlier in the broadcast. I pursued her.
Yes.
I showed interest in her. She didn't need me. She told me that. But she saw value in me.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
So if you don't see someone who can add value to your life, then they're going to subtract from your life. You want someone who not only adds, but they multiply your life
and
exponentially,
elevate,
and they
yes.
elevate your life exponentially.
Yes.
But if you're settling for mediocrity, all in the sake of not being alone no more,
Right.
all for the sake of, oh well, I'm ready to hurry up and get married, and my biological clock is ticking, and I'm almost 40, or I'm almost 50, or I'm almost whatever. Don't make lifetime decisions for temporary high or a temporary feeling to be fulfilled for right now, because that's what people are doing, and then they're asking the question, where's the love?
Two things I wanted to say. You know, we got married. How old were you when we got married?
So I'm 42 now. I was probably 33.
And I was, what, 46?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Do you see the age? I was 46 when I got married again. It's never too late.
Not too late.
What God has for you is for you. And what he gives you will blow your mind.
And even with our age difference,
Even with it. Yeah.
we enjoy each other.
Yes.
Now, my wife said something to me the other day, and we got into a kind of like a heated disagreement. And you said, you know what? And let's we're being honest.
Yeah.
She said, I don't like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, flat out.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
When I start acting a certain way, when I start becoming this and this and this and this,
Yes.
when I start reverting back,
Wow. You telling this for real.
yeah, I'm telling this
Yeah.
for real. My wife told me, I don't, and you know what I had to do? I had to swallow it. And I had to say, you know what? I got to change, because I want my wife to like me in that area.
Yes.
I want my wife to be pleased with me, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
You know, I want to be pleasing in your sight, and vice versa.
Yes.
So that we don't have this superficial on the surface marriage that
Right.
people look at and be like, oh, I want marriage goals, marriage goals,
Yeah,
couples
stop
goals.
that.
Stop that crap,
Stop
man.
that.
They're putting on the filter and making y'all see something that ain't there.
Stop that.
y'all think is
Yeah.
there. No, we didn't want that, and we don't want that.
No.
I want something, and I know you do. We
Yeah.
want something that when people see us is legit,
Right.
is real.
Right.
Okay, that the Morgans ain't putting up no front. They ain't got no.
Right.
The love that you see between us, the intimacy, the camaraderie that we share behind the scenes, or that we share out in public, or whatever, or in our private area.
Yeah.
I want it to be genuine. We want it to be
Yes.
real. And that's
Yes.
what you want, family.
Yes.
And so it takes time to build that.
It does.
But if your foundation is wrong,
The foundation.
see, like I said, we went back. We had to go through marriage counsel. We had to
Right.
right the ship.
Right.
Because we about to hit that iceberg. It's like the Titanic about to
Right.
hit that iceberg.
Yeah.
And we had enough time to steer the ship.
Yes.
But if we don't do it and we hit that iceberg, guess what? When that bad boy tanks and it's underwater, whose fault is it? We can't blame God. Well, God, why you didn't tell me? We can't blame one
It's our
another.
fault.
Well, God, why?
Right.
No. It's our fault because
Right.
we saw the iceberg up ahead. We had time to steer the ship, but we said, no, we're not going to do that. And that's
Right.
what we had to do in our
We had
relationship.
to.
Why? Because we understood that God had purpose. And it took not only for our eyes to see that and be opened up to that, but it took outside people to show us, man, y'all got purpose in this.
Right.
Don't ruin this by starting out wrong.
That's right.
Don't ruin this by building on a faulty foundation.
That's right.
And so we implore you guys to do the same
The
thing.
same thing. And
Don't start out
yes.
on faulty ground. Don't start
Don't.
out lowering your standards. Don't start out with manipulation and lies and your integrity is shot. Don't
will
start out that way.
boomerang.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it will boomerang back to you.
Absolutely.
So start out on the right foot. Start out, wait. Give it time. Give yourself time.
Right.
Love yourself. Be honest with who you are.
Right.
Work on those things so that when you do come together with, when God pairs you with that person, then you guys, not saying it's going to be superficial as far as, oh, we're going to have the Luke and Laura, if anybody remember General Hospital, kind of riding off in the sunset with a horse and stuff and on with a white dress. After the ceremony, that's when the real starts.
And I think a lot of people want that fantasy. Oh, I want to be in the white dress with the white tux.
And nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I did it.
But
I had it on the beach.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have to understand, though, after the ceremony, the marriage starts.
Life comes. Life happens.
Comes. You married into that family. You married into their family.
Yes.
Right? And so now the ceremony's over with. The flowers have faded and died. All the guests have left. You've used all you know, the toaster is on the counter now, and all the gifts and stuff, you use them in the house, and they, you know, and half of them ain't working no more. Now it's down to the nitty-gritty. But we're gonna come back from a commercial break, you guys. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna end the night out on the right foot. We're still talking about where is the love. But don't go anywhere. We got to pay some bills with these sponsors right now. And so hold tight and we'll be back.
We'll be right back.
Messages.
Today, people and business owners have a ton of options to choose from. When it comes to web developers, graphic designers, social media marketing, branding, and the list goes on. And that might not be such a good thing. What if there was one company that you and your business could trust that could provide all these services at prices that won't eat up your business capital before it gets off the ground? From logo design, branding, custom website development, hosting, social media marketing, print media design, and more. Infusion does it all under one roof with a team of professionals that are just a phone call away. Infusion Design Solutions, the infusion of exceptional design and affordability. Visit us online at infusion.com.
It doesn't matter what they call you. What matters is what you answer to. Landisheray.
All right, you guys, and we're back to Living More with the Morgans on tonight's episode of Where is the Love? Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our show here in a little bit. We thank you guys for tuning in tonight and staying up late with us.
Thank you.
We're going to let you guys go ahead and get you some sleep, put the kids to bed, and get ready for work in the morning. But we want to close out the show tonight. First of all, just thanking you guys again.
Thank you so much.
Sharing it. Share it with your people.
Yes.
Go to our social media pages.
Yes.
We're all over social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're going to be on TikTok soon. And we want you guys to engage with us.
Yes.
Right? So if there's any questions that you guys may have, you can interact with us on those platforms at any time. You can hit us in our DMs and we'd love to get back to you. And let us know what you think about the show, you guys. Let us know what you think about the content, the topics that we're discussing. Again, we're doing things a little bit outside of the box, right? Because often what we find is those of us in the faith-based community, we don't really keep it real. And then when you hear about those who do keep it real, it's kind of like they so left field with stuff and so just like, no.
Right.
We want to be transparent. We want to be relatable. We want to be authentic and real, but we also want to let people know that we have a standard. Our standard is Christ. Our standard is God.
Right.
You dig? And so that's what we base our marriage on. That's what we base our relationships with other people on. We base it on that.
That's right.
You know, are we perfect? Absolutely not. I'm far from it. I know she is, and I know I am.
That's right.
But the thing of it is that we're striving for perfection, and we're striving to do this
Yes.
thing the right way every day.
Every day.
And so we want to take that journey with you guys.
Yes.
And so we want y'all to come along with us, Living More with the Morgans. Again, we're on every platform. Share with your people. Share this video. It'll be available after the broadcast. It'll be available on Facebook, and then we'll make it available on YouTube tomorrow. So you'll see the posts out there on our Facebook and our YouTube channel and so forth, where you can share the rebroadcast at any time for the remainder of the week. But as we close, again, we're talking about where's the love.
Yes.
And I want us to be very mindful as we go into the month of February, even further. And this is a month where we talk about love, and we talk about Valentine's Day that's coming up next week, and we talk about all the superficial things that are involving love. But let's not just show it for 1 month.
No.
Let's not
One
just
day.
one day
Right.
where you get the wife flowers on Valentine's Day, or you do something nice.
Right. Get us some flowers just throughout the
I got
year.
you. I got some dandelions already on order for you.
Not no dandelions. I'm gonna choke you.
They already ready. The dandelions is on their way. But every day, especially when you're married, you guys, every day, when you're courting someone, you're dating someone right now, every day you want that to be a day of bliss, a day of love, a day that you're celebrating one another.
Right.
Your day is that you're celebrating living more, that you're living life, and that you're able to live it with one another.
That's right.
And so next week's show, we're bringing in our special guest, Dr. Sean Anike and Prophetess Beverly Anike. These are our spiritual parents.
Yes.
And you know what, y'all, hey, they come on here, y'all. If they still watching, y'all come on here, y'all know y'all got to be real. Y'all got to keep it real. And I know they will. I know they will.
Yeah.
Why? Because they understand it and they exhibit that bliss.
They do.
They exhibit that in their marriage.
Talk about it.
And they talk
often.
about it.
Yes.
And they show it.
They show
not
it.
just in private, but they show it amongst people. They show it in church.
Yeah.
They show it when they mount their platform or whatever. And they show the respect and the love for one another.
Yes.
And so we wanted to bring them in as our first guest ever on Living More with the Morgans. Our spiritual parents, the Anikes, were going to be in the building next week live online. It's going to be fun. Tell your people to tune in.
Yes.
We're going to be putting out the promos and everything. Share it with your people. We're going to have them online with us. Yeah. And so, you guys, I'm grateful for this show. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to spend it with my wife. My wife is what you see, y'all, is what you get. She's beautiful on the inside and outside. She's a fireball as well. She don't play that. And if you mess with me, you can go ahead and end your life.
It's gonna be some flower bringing and some slow singing.
Yeah, it's gonna be some repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. If you play with my wife, all you cats that's in my wife's DMs that I'm aware of, yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
I can mess you up with my words. And I don't want to do that. All I got to do is speak something.
Right.
And it's not going to be good for you. So go ahead and stay out of my wife's inbox and respect our marriage.
That's right.
And respect my wife.
That's right.
So you can respect your own life.
That's right.
You dig?
That's right.
And so you guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. I'm your man, Landis Ray Morgan, my beautiful wife.
I'm Rotunda Morgan.
And you have been tuned in to another episode of Living More with the Morgans. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Have a blessed night. We'll see you next Tuesday night.
Yes.
8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern for the St. Valentine's Day show.
All right now.
All right. What you gonna wear? What you gonna be wearing next week?
It'll be a surprise.
It's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna have like lace and stuff in it. And
where you talk on the show, or you talking about after the show?
I'm talking about. I mean, all the way through. Like you gonna have like lacy stuff. It's
I don't
gonna
do lacy stuff.
I don't do lacy stuff. It's gonna have some satin and silky stuff.
You'll see.
Okay. Did you buy the silk drawers?
We'll see y'all later. Cause see, he gonna start acting silly.
She was supposed to buy the silk drawers.
We love you guys.
Silk drawers.
You married folk, live out loud. It's your time. Do it.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid. That's your spouse. That's your wife. That's your husband. Be husband and wife. Love each other out loud.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Love
Have
you
a good
guys.
night.
Peace.